Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about cloud logging services, I think. So for this you have like AWS CloudWatch, Azure Monitor, and GCP Logging. Those are the different cloud logging solutions, right? And understanding the architecture of them, of the major cloud logging platforms, right? Implement security monitoring and alerting strategies, analyze log data for security incidents, and threat detection. Configure retention policies and compliance requirements. So for AWS CloudWatch, you have a centralized log management service that collects logs from EC2 instances, Lambda functions, VPC flow logs, CloudTrail, and other AWS services. You have organization with organizing them into log groups and log streams, right? Support real-time monitoring and historical analysis. CloudWatch metrics collects and tracks metrics from AWS resources. Custom metrics can be created for applications. Provide detailed monitoring with 1-minute granularity. Basic monitoring available at 5-minute intervals. For CloudWatch alarms, you have trigger actions based on metric thresholds, send notifications via SNS, auto-scale resources, or stop terminate instances. Support composite alarms for complex monitoring scenarios. For CloudWatch events and Event Bridge, we have event-driven architecture for responding to AWS service changes. Rules can trigger Lambda functions, SNS notifications, or other actions critical for automated incident response. For security monitoring and capabilities, we have VPC flow logs capture. So VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud Flow Logs, right? VPC is Virtual Private Cloud. It captures network traffic metadata essential for detecting suspicious network activity. Can identify data exfiltration, lateral movement, and DDoS attacks stored in CloudWatch logs or S3 bucket. CloudTrail integration, we have API call for logging for all AWS services. Provides audit trail for compliance and forensics. Automatically integrate with CloudWatch logs. Critical for detecting unauthorized access and privilege escalation. So this is the security side of it. For guard duty, we have threat intelligence and anomaly detection. Generate findings in CloudWatch events, automated response through Lambda function. Lambda is so that you can run code. So it's basically infrastructure as code, right? So you're paying to run code in Lambda. So it can automatically go and run these Lambda functions, whatever code blocks that they have in there. If something triggers, it will have an automated response and trigger those Lambda functions, right? For log groups, what they have is the groups of logs, right? Security authentication, application web server, AWS virtual private cloud flow logs, AWS EC2 system logs, and AWS Lambda function name. Whatever you name your function, right? Your piece of code, right? Retention policies, you have appropriate retention period 1 day to never expire. Balance cost with compliance requirements. Consider archiving to S3 Glacier for long-term storage. Access control. Use IAM policies to restrict log access. Implement least privilege principle. Enable MFA for sensitive log data access. So logs that have like credit card numbers, passwords of any kind, you do not want that. You want to have MFA for that, so that nobody can access it if they don't have the MFA token or MFA key, whatever it is. For Azure Monitor logs, we have centralized log collection and analysis platform. It uses custom query language for log analysis. It collects data from Azure resources, on-premises systems, and other clouds. Workspace-based organization model. For Azure Monitor metrics, we have platform and custom metric collection. Near real-time monitoring and capabilities. Integration with auto-scaling and alerting. It supports multi-dimensional metrics. So for Azure Monitor metrics, we have platform and custom metrics, near real-time processing, integration with auto-scaling, support multi-dimensional, we already read that. Then we have APM, application performance monitoring, user behavior tracking, performance and availability, automatic anomaly detection, dependency mapping, and distributed tracing. For Azure Centio, we have a cloud-native SIEM solution. So Centio must be Azure's SIEM solution, right? So then we have Azure Monitor logs, advanced threat detection and response, machine learning-based analytics. For security monitoring, we have record all control plane operations. What the control plane is it controls how data is sent, through a network, right? How the flow of the network goes, right? Captures subscription level events, essential for compliance and audit trails, 90-day retention in portal longer and log analytic, resource specific operational data, network security group flow logs, key vault access logs, application gateway access logs. For the security center integration, we have security posture management, vulnerability assessments, regulatory compliance dashboards, integration with Azure Defender. For the KQL query, right? Failed login attempts, we got that. For network traffic, we have Azure Analytics CL. For the GCP, Google Cloud Platform, we have Cloud Logging, formerly Stackdriver, centralized logging service for GCP, resources, automatic log collection from GCP services, custom log ingestion via logging API, integration with other GCP security services, metrics collection and alerting for the cloud monitoring, custom dashboards and visualization, integration with third-party tools, SLL and SLI monitoring capabilities, admin activity logs always enabled, data access logs configurable, system event logs, and policy denied logs. For Security Command Center, we have centralized and security and risk management, asset discovery and inventory, security findings, aggregation, compliance monitoring. For the VPC flows, we have network traffic visibility, anomaly detection, capabilities, integration with Security Command Center, export to BigQuery for advanced analysis. We also have binary authorization, container image security, deployment policy information, attestation-based verification, audit logging for compliance. For cloud asset inventory, we have real-time asset discovery, configuration monitoring, security policy, compliance, change tracking, and alerting. For the log analysis with BigQuery, right, we have querying audit logs. So we have proto payload with authentication info, so the person's email, the principal email, the method name, the resource name. Then we have we have that Google API activity, and then we have proto email method like delete, timestamp, sub current timestamp interval 24 hours. So for a comparative comparison, right, we have AWS CloudWatch, which the only thing it can use is CloudWatch logs insights. Azure Monitor uses KQL. GCP uses BigQuery, SQL, and legacy filter. All of them have real-time processing. All of them have custom metrics. AWS has limited machine learning. Azure Monitor has built-in machine learning. Google Cloud Platform has AI platform integration. For third-party, we have extensive third-party integration. Azure is also extensive, and Google Cloud Platform is also growing. For compliance, you can comply with SOC, ISO, PCI DSS. For Azure Monitor, we can do SOC, ISO, and GDPR. For GCP, we can do SOC, ISO, and HIPAA. So Google is really winning it with HIPAA, right? Because it's more able to be compliant with HIPAA, right? For AWS CloudWatch logs, we have pay per gigabyte ingested and stored, additional charges for API request, data transfer cost apply, reserved capacity available. For Azure Monitor, we have per gigabyte pricing model, commitment tiers for discounts, free tier available, export costs to consider. GCP, we have first 50 gigabytes per month free, pay per gigabytes after free tier, BigQuery analysis cost separate, committed use discounts available. For security use cases, we have log correlation, cross-reference authentication logs with network traffic, timeline reconstruction for forensic analysis, automated threat hunting queries, integration with SOAR platforms. Also, you want to see what allow for threat detection like brute force attacks, data exfiltration, privilege escalation, lateral movement. For compliance monitoring, you want to see if those log platforms comply with PCI DSS, HIPAA, SOX, or GDPR, and what ones that you're going to need for your company, right? For automated compliance reporting, you have scheduled queries for compliance metrics, dashboard creation for stakeholder visibility, and automated alert generation for violations. Integration with GRC platforms, right? So I can see this being a big win because your stakeholders are able to see those dashboards, right? You're creating these dashboards for stakeholders to look at. I'm not sure what cloud platform allows you to do that, or if all of them do it, I don't know. For implementation best practices, right? Centralization, aggregate logs from all cloud regions, implement consistent naming conventions, establish data retention policies, plan for disaster recovery scenarios. Normalization, we have standardized timestamp formats, consistent field naming across resources, right? Structured logging implementation, schema validation, and enforcement. For security hardening, we have access to role-based access control, right? Use service accounts with minimal permissions, enable multi-factor authentication, regular access reviews and auditing. We also have data protection and encrypt logs in transit and data at rest. Also implementing log integrity verification, secure log forwarding protocols, data masking for sensitive information. So that's part of desensitizing your data, right? Or yeah, basically making it where the passwords and the whatever information that you don't want to get out is masked and stuff like that, or at least has a variable assigned to it that is protected by root, so only the root user could access it, right? For monitoring and alerting, we have alert fatigue prevention, implement alert thresholds carefully, use machine learning for anomaly detection, create alert escalation procedures, regular tuning and optimization. We also have performance optimization, index frequently queried logs, implement log sampling for high volume sources, use log aggregation and summarization, monitor storage and query cost. So for the exam, right, you want to know your log sources, your query languages, your integration points, your compliance factors, your cost management, and common exam scenarios. Investigating security incidents using cloud logs, configuring alerts for suspicious activities, implementing compliance monitoring, troubleshooting log collection issues, optimizing logging cost while maintaining security. Now this might show up as a PBQ, I'm not sure if they do questions like this, but just in case it comes up on the exam, you want to look out for that. For studying, you want to focus on hands-on experience with query languages, understand log correlation techniques, knowledge of compliance requirements, familiarity with automated response capabilities, and cost optimization strategies. So we have some questions here. Which AWS service provides the most detailed network traffic for security analysis? I'd probably say CloudTrail, but that's just me. We'll go see if I got it right. No, it's actually VPC flow logs. This one is KQL, I think. This one is, I don't even know that one, right? So I got 2 right, but then 3 is D, up to 400 days. 4 is B, log encryption and integrity protection for that. So here are some of the resources you can look at. Practical experience with platforms is invaluable for both exam and real-world cybersecurity operations. Consider setting up lab environments to practice log analysis and incident response scenarios. We definitely are going to be doing labs in this course. Just right now, I want you to really get an understanding of log ingestion. So when we get to the more harder topics, that you will be able to figure out those harder topics, right? That rely heavily on log ingestion.